The symptoms of diseases discussed. What are generally considered to be the symptoms of illnesses can be roughly divided into the following conditions: fever, pain, itchiness, unpleasantness, nausea, diarrhea, dropsy, night sweats, dizziness, sleeplessness, depression, paralysis, coughing, hot flashes, ringing in the ears, chills, and constipation. Each of these symptoms will be discussed in accordance with the principles of our healing method. Fever. The theory medical science accepts these days for the cause of fever is, as described in previous chapters, that there functions in the brain a center that controls the generation of fever, and that this center under some form of stimulus generates fever. Other reasons that appear to have been bandied about credit fever to the fatigue caused by exercise, as well as those to impairment in the liver, kidneys, stomach, as well as generation in other locations. There is no fever-generating center in the brain, as I previously explained, but one theory that cannot be overlooked is that which holds that body temperature itself results from combustion that arises from eating and digesting. That such a ludicrous theory came to be expounded was probably that the digestive process was thought to be like a heating stove, and digesting food was inferred to be akin to burning coal. In advance of explaining the cause of fever generation according to the results of my research, readers should realize that, because my theory is so far removed from currently prevailing theories, it deserves carefully reading and consideration. All in the universe consists, generally speaking, of three constituents. These constituents are fire, water, and earth. Fire, which is the spirit of fire, is the element of the Sunday. Water, known in its physical form as hydrogen, is the element of the moon. Earth is the element of the planet Earth. The heavenly world is the sun, the intermediate world, the moon, and the lower world, the planet Earth, form three levels. This relationship can be clearly seen at the moment of a solar eclipse. These three levels are vertical, but the three constituents also form three horizontal levels. Where these two lines intersect is a three-dimensional fusion, and this fusion also applies to the human being. Within the human body are important organs that serve three functions. These organs are the heart, the lungs, and the stomach. These three organs function to absorb into the body the three elements, the spirit of fire, the spirit of water, and the spirit of earth, in order to maintain life. The heart absorbs the spirit of fire, the lungs, the spirit of water, and the stomach, the spirit of earth. To the present, material science has been able to comprehend the spirit of water and the spirit of earth, but the spirit of fire remains undiscovered, for which there was a reason. The spirit of water is half substance and the spirit of soil is substance, but the spirit of fire is non-substance. To detail even further, non-substance, which is the spirit of fire, fills the space around the surface of the earth. I have named the space permeated with the spirit of fire, the world of Greeky. Similarly, the spirit of water that fills the space around the earth forms the world of air. Consequently, the heart absorbs the spirit of fire from the world of Reiki, the physical manifestation of which is the movement of the beating of the heart. Of course, the lungs absorb the spirit of water from the world of air, which is the act of breathing. The stomach absorbs the spirit of earth from the foods that are produced from the soil, as everyone knows. In accordance with the principles outlined above, body temperature is the spirit of fire that is continually absorbed with the beating of the heart from the world of Reiki. Fever generation results when large amounts of warmth are activated in order to dissolve solidified toxins, so the heart beats more frequently, while fever is being generated. Furthermore, after death you can't see that the blood quickly congeals, because the spirit of fire returns to the world of Reiki, and that the corpse dries out, as the spirit of water returned to the world of air. The corpse becomes soil, because as substance, it returns to the spirit of soil. Here should be added a word of caution. Fever is generally thought to be generated everywhere throughout the physical body, but actually most instances of fever are only local. For example, when you probe the skin for the focus of fever generation with the tips of your fingers in case of a high fever, you will discover a small lump about the size of a fingertip. It is often observed that this lump is quite hot, like a fire. When this lump is dissolved, fever immediately decreases, wherever it is in the body. It is very clear from this example that there is no organ that serves as a heat generation center. Neither can I say that the thermometers which are used and depended upon to measure fever in the human body are very accurate. When the center of fever is located near the armpits, the traditional area for inserting the thermometer in Japan, fever is easily detected, but when the fever is located farther away from the armpit, such as in the head, brain or in the legs, it will be harder to determine accurately. As the distance increases from the point of fever generation, the warmth radially decreases. This fact is demonstrated by the frequent discovery that the temperatures taken on the left side armpit are often observed to vary among individuals by as much as 5 to 6 degrees from the temperature measured on the right side. Physical techniques are undertaken to try to cool and chill high fevers, but such measures are the worst possible steps that could be taken. Body temperature is maintained at around 36 degrees, because that temperature is the most appropriate for bodily activity and functions. Cold compresses are 0 degrees, however, so activities and functions of the localized region to which such a cold compress is applied will be seriously impaired, and in some cases, lost, because they become frozen or paralyzed. From my experience, in cases of high fever such as in stroke, inflammation of the lungs, typhus, and so forth, not few are the instances in which death occurs not because of the original disease or condition but from the application of cold. One example of this occurred when I was asked to help a hospitalized university student who was in serious condition. When he had been hospitalized, his symptom had been severe diarrhea and nothing else. When I examined him, I found he was experiencing clouded consciousness due to an extreme degree of anemia and was frequently nauseous. He had no appetite and was considerably weakened. To explain what happened, in the beginning, the doctor had prescribed a cold compress on the head for a high fever due to catarrh, and this cold compress had been continued for more than 20 days. This treatment resulted in a severe case of anemia. Diarrhea, the original cause for hospitalization, had been healed, but the young man had been beset by further illness on account of the mistaken treatment. I explained this to members of the family, but because of their deep-rooted faith in the superstition caused by medical science, they said they could not stop the cold compresses, so I bowed to the inevitable and left. I was later informed that the student died 3 days afterwards. We can only lament at how terrifying are the cold compresses that are misdiagnosed by the practitioners of medical science. You must also come to understand how terrifying is the continuous ingestion of antipyretics for high fevers. The continued use of the common varieties of antipyretics over a week will most often begin to present with a reaction. Because these reactions are quite stubborn, doctors refer to them as fevers of unknown cause. Gospel of Heaven, page 121, February 2, 1947.
病気症状の解剖。天国の福音昭和22-1947年2月5日発行。まず病気症状といえば大別左のごときものであろう。すなわち発熱、痛苦、創腰苦、不快感、嘔吐、下痢、浮腫、むくみ、頭汗、寝汗、めまい、不眠、憂鬱、麻痺、外傷、咳、略状、のぼせ、自鳴、冷え、便秘等である。これらについて順次本医術による解説をしてみよう。発熱。医学上発熱の原因として今日行われている説は、機器のごとく発熱中枢なる機能が脳内にあって、それが何らかの刺激によって発生するとされている。 また運動による疲労のためや肝臓及び腎臓、胃腸障害その他各種からの発熱に対してはその理由漫然としているようである。しかしながら発熱中枢なる機能など人体内にないことは先に説いた如くであるが、ここに見逃すことのできないことは体温が食物の燃焼によって発生するという説である。このようなバカバカしいことを唱えるのは多分消化機能をストーブのように思い、食物の消化を石炭の燃焼と同様に推理したものであろう。私の研究によって特たる発熱の原因を解くにあたって読者に断っておきたいことは、これはあまりにかけ離れている説であるから、心を鉛筆をめて熟読眼にせられたいのである。そもそも宇宙における真羅万象一切は大別して3つの要素から成立っている。それは火、水、土である。すなわち火である基礎は太陽のせいであり、水素は月球のせいであり、土素は地球のせいである。そうして天界は太陽、中界は月球、下界は地球というように3段階になっている。これは日食の際明らかに見えるのである。右は縦の3段階であるが、これが横の3段階にもなっている。すなわち経緯工作の3次元的密合であり、それが人体にもとをはまるのである。そうして人体中の重要器官として3つの機能がある。すなわち心臓、肺臓、胃の腑である。この3大機能の活動は基礎、水素、土素の見晴らすを吸収し、それによって生が営まれる。すなわち心臓は基礎、肺臓は水素、胃の腑は土素を吸収するのである。しかしながら、今日までの科学は水素及び土素は確実に把握しているが基礎は未知であった。それには理由がある。すなわち水素は反物質、土素は物質であるにかかわらず、基礎は非物質であるからである。右の理を一層ふつく下げてみよう。すなわち非物質である基礎は中和の空間を充填しており、私はこれを冷気界と名付ける。同じく地上空間を充填している水素は空気界を作っている。したがって心臓は冷気界から基礎を吸収しており、その運動が鼓動である。もちろん肺臓は空気界から水素を吸収する、それが呼吸である。胃の腑はまた土素から生産された食物を吸収する。これは誰も知るところである。右の理によって体温とは心臓の鼓動によって普段に冷気界から吸収している基礎である。故に発熱とは毒血溶解のため所要の熱を多量に吸収するからで、発熱利鼓動の頻繁はそのためである。この理によって死後急激に血液が尿血するのは基礎が冷気界へ還元するからであり、死体の乾燥は水素が空気界へ還元するからであり、致死の土壌化は物質であるから土素に還元するのである。次に注意すべきことは、発熱の場合世人は全身的と思うが、実はそのほとんどが記憶部的である。例えば高熱の場合、死闘をもって発熱の焦点を探査するとき、死闘くらいの消解を発見する。これは火の元き強圧さでよく判明する。それを溶解するやたちまち全身的に下熱するのである。これによって見ても発熱中枢なる器官などないことはあまりにも明らかである。また世人が信ずるごとき体温計なるものは正確とは言えない。なんとなれば発熱中心部が液化に近い場合高熱が顕和で、液化に遠い頭脳かあるいは100部等の場合は割合体温計に高熱は現れないのである。すなわち発熱中心部から遠離遠ざかるに従い、放射状的に低熱化するからである。この少佐として人により左右の液化を経熱する場合、5、6分くらいの作用を発見するのである。次に高熱に対し氷冷法を行うが、これは最も不可である。それは人体的非正の体温は36度台であるということは、その程度が機能活動に適しているからである。しかるに氷冷は0度であるから、氷冷を受ける局部の機能はその活動を著しく阻害され、甚だ式は失うことになる。それは凍結的麻痺状態になるからである。したがって私の経験上、脳一血、肺炎、恥物その他高熱病の場合、その本来の病感のためではなく氷冷のために死を招く事実は少なからずあることである。右の例として以前私は大学生の患者を病院に入院、重体のゆえをもって招かれたことがあった。入院当時の病症は激しい下痢で他に疾患はなかったとのことである。しかるに私が審査の際、極度の脳貧血で頭脳朦朧とし頻繁なる嘔吐あり、食欲皆無著しい衰弱をきたし既得状態であった。それを説明すればこうである。最初カタルによる高熱のため、医療は頭脳の氷冷をなし持続20日より及んだので、それがため強度の脳貧血を期したのである。故に入院の目的たる下痢はすでに死しており、今は護療のために作った病気に悩まされていたわけである。私はカリンにその訳を話したが、医学に迷信しているため氷冷をやめられないというので、やむなく私は帰ったのである。しかるに量産日後死亡したとの通知があった。ああ、医学の誤謬による氷冷のいかに恐るべきかを嘆かざるを得ないのである。次に、発熱に対し解熱剤の連続服用の恐るべきことも知らねばならない。普通解熱剤を1週間以上持続するにおいて、多くは徐々としてその反動作用が現れ始める。これは非常に必要であるため、以下はよく原因不明の熱というのである。